Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to today's live stream. It's Friday, live day. We've got a lot to cover today. I'm not actually going to do any lasering. I don't have anything to laser at the moment. I mean, I've got plenty of stuff. It's in a pile next to me. We'll get to that in a minute. But I'm not prepared to start it. I got a lot of stuff that I was like, man, this would be great for live streams. And the more I looked at it, like the more I was like, these really deserve a lot of time and attention. That are more kind of like for a feature episode. Instead of that, which is what we normally do, we normally boot the lasers up and just start marking stuff. I just kind of want to like catch up and talk to you guys and actually take a minute to chat, say hey, maybe answer some questions and show you guys what we've got coming down the pipe, because there's a lot. I've kind of taken on like 50 different projects at a time, and I'm trying to finish them all at once, which isn't working super well. So I need to start like doing one thing at a time, and then, you know, things will start coming out of the pipe. But I wanted to show you. I wanted to prove to you that we're working on stuff, because we are. We've got quite a bit that is actually coming. First, let's say hi to everybody that is hanging out in chat today. JMac was first, as usual. The J Plus was the first like. Thanks for smashing the like button. If you haven't already done that, smash the like button. Helps live streams get in front of more people. It's good for that engagement. JB, what's up? Jason, let's see, who else do we got? David, Shadow's here. What's up, guys? Shadow Living says, anxious to see what's on your table. Enjoyed your Vegas interviews, but was left wanting more. Me too, man. I literally only got to wander around the expo for one day. We had one day to get in there, talk to everybody we could, shoot everything we could, and then we literally had to leave because I have little Coraline at home, and I'd already been away for a couple days, and I had to give a talk while I was there. I had to give like a whole presentation. Talk a little bit more about that too. But I was kind of like in and out. We do have a little baby at home, so COVID's still kind of a concern for us because she's not vaccinated, and you know, doesn't really have much of an immune system to speak of. So I really kind of wanted to poke my head in, get some stuff done, get out as fast as I could. Hopefully we can spend more time next year. Rick is here. What's up, Rick? Just got back from Disney this morning. That sounds fun. Sean says, when's the laser marketplace going to be live and taking money? Very soon. We're going to talk all about it today. I'm actually going to have, we're going to do like a brief tutorial for vendors today to kind of show you guys what the vendor backend is looking like, because that's more or less finished at this point, minus a couple big features, and we will talk about that soon as well. Dave Etter just got a diode laser, an Ortur Laser Master 2. Dope. I've got one back there. One of the machines that we haven't really gotten to play with on the channel, but I hope to dig into that some more soon. Kevin needs the loo. Good luck, Kevin. Don't fall in. Come back to us soon. Damn Gone says, I was asked to put a logo on a basketball today. Any advice for me? Yeah, we actually have a full episode on how to engrave basketballs. It was like one of the weird random ones that I did before the baby was born, when I was just trying to get as much on the channel for you guys as humanly possible. Somebody brought in a basketball, we did it. So if you search basketball on the channel, it's on there. It's called How to Engrave a Basketball. So go check that one out. Richie from Gulf Coast Laser Engraving here. What's up, Richie? Good to see you. Patrick's here. Hey, Patrick. Solocraft, nice to finally catch a live show. Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's going to be a different live show today, but I'm glad you're here for it. Robert is asking, really hoping Lightburn is sooner rather than later. Last I heard, I get this question 50 times a week. Last I heard, they're still slated for a Q2 2022 release. That's pretty much now, so we should be seeing some news about that soon. We're waiting on some big things there, namely native lens corrections, which has kind of stopped me from doing a lot of the things that I want to do as far as demonstrating its abilities to you guys. So hopefully that's coming soon, and then at least we can see more of it on the channel, if not full release. But that's really kind of what the channel's waiting on at this point. I really need some native lens corrections, because I just simply don't have the time to sit here and do them manually for hours. So hopefully that's coming. Glock gun stippling coming soon. Yes, I just talked to Patrick. He is working on that, and that should be showing up on Laser Everything Else, our second channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to Laser Everything Else, go check it out. It's youtube.com/lasereverythingelse. And Patrick should have an episode up on that soon, as well as some other firearms related content that we don't want on the main channel because we don't want to get me demonetized. So go check out the second channel for that kind of stuff, which should hopefully be coming from Patrick shortly. He's in the chat right now, so maybe he can update us on that. Dave Sarcasmic says hello, what's up? Oh my God, Lightburn for my spoons. Yes, in fact, one of the things that we had talked about on Lightburn was right now we have the round correction, right? So like if we're trying to engrave around a cylinder, right, you can correct for that so that it isn't so stretched out. They're actually going to do the inverse so that you can correct for curves this way, which will be great for spoons. So that'll be up. Also, my wife, part of her like crazy shopping spree she just did, which again, we'll talk about in a minute. One of the things she ordered was spoons. Somebody asked how to engrave spoons, so we bought some spoons. So we'll be doing that on the channel soon. I just want to be the obvious many people who are beta testers to stop teasing the rest of us. Yeah. Capra says, hello everyone, greetings from Switzerland. What's up, Capra? Yep, Janine's excited. So yeah, great. Okay, we're caught up on chat. 43 people watching. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already smashed the like button, please do so. It really helps get the channel in front of more people, especially while we're live. Really, really helpful. This is Alex Zonin. I released the new version of the EZCAD 2 to 3 converter today. Wanted to give a shout out to the other DW for helping improve it. Cool. Slipknot fan. Can you do multiple hatches on rotary? I know EZCAD will only do one. Sure, I don't see why not, as long as you have your steps per revolution, you know, nice and tight and accurate. It shouldn't be a big deal. Alex, did you get the focal stick holders? James Brewer's asking. No, I don't think so. If it says delivered, touch base with me after the show, and we'll work that out. Okay, great. Now we're caught up on chat. What are we going to talk about? Well, I made a list. What's up, Missouri? I made a list. So let's take a look at the list. Here is, I know this is going to go to the wrong desktop, but, oh, nope. Okay, actually it worked. So what is on the list? Part number, error video. So, okay, so this is a bunch of videos. Here's all of the Laser Everything videos we've ever done. So there's a few new ones coming down the pipe. The first one is the part number error video. I know you guys have probably seen it or heard me talk about it before, or seen people ask this question. Basically, you're trying to mark something and it says, you know, part number greater than total or whatever. It's a really quick video. It's like 2.5 minutes long. I just need to edit it and throw it up. It's how to fix that error. Super simple stuff. Next, we've got the slide video. It's not slides for firearms, don't get too excited, but what this is when I went to the Awards and Personalization Expo, they asked me to give a talk on fiber lasers, which I did, but I had all of these like slides from that presentation that I realized you guys would love to see content about this. And a lot of it, most of it, 99% of it actually applies to all Galvo lasers. So this episode is going to be called Galvo Laser Everything, or everything you need to know about Galvo lasers. It's going to be pretty straightforward, but very, very important information, especially for people that are just getting started. So that video is coming as well. So we want to reuse those assets because I want you guys to be able to see this stuff. If I could, I would just upload my talk from the APA, but I'm not allowed to do that. So we're going to reuse these assets and kind of build a fresh video for the newbies out there. Number 3 here, this is a great video. So you guys have talked to me over and over again about red powder coat, colored powder coat in general, but red powder coat specifically, and using project mark and on a fiber laser. So this is basically the worst case project mark scenario, right? We're doing it on a fiber, which we shouldn't be doing. We're doing project mark, so we don't have the rotary tool, and it's freaking red powder coat. It's the worst of all of it, and we do it successfully. And I walk you through everything step by step. We get great results here. So you can actually, we'll just go ahead and skip it. These are raw clips here. Is this not the right clip? I don't know if this is the right clip or not. We talk about like straightening stuff, and I don't know why I have like 3 minutes of video where we're just staring at the damn thing. This is what my unedited videos look like. I'm looking pretty sad, but the point of the matter is we do it. You can see it right there. We do it really well, and it comes out absolutely flawless. No problem at all. Maybe it's up here. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Really, really clean. So if you want to know how to use Project Mark and get through these pesky colors that reflect all of our infrared laser light, like red, we're going to talk about it. We go through the entire thing step by step, and it works really well. So that's something you've been wondering about. We're going to cover it. And then last but not least, this is the one that I'm most excited about. I spent some time with JMac chatting with Jason. This is Jason from Lightburn. And Jason gives a great but highly technical explanation about how photo engravings work. I'm going to use a couple clips from this just to kind of help explain. But with that said, I kind of understand the secrets to getting perfect photos now. And these work, I mean, aluminum business cards show them off the best, but these work on every material. Every single material. We've learned some really important facts about photo engraving and how you can get results like this, which is just like unreal. So I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to show you guys everything I know about engraving photos, everything I've learned since I've started. And yes, before you ask, this warped a little bit and kind of got hot. So not a great example, but it does work when you're not removing anodizing as well. So if you're trying to mark just on straight metals, this is on steel. When we do the final episode, we will do a better example than this, but this is just, again, proof of concept. We're going to talk about it. So if you guys are interested in this, keep an eye, because I've been working really hard on this. This will be like, if you guys know the timing video that I did, or more recently, what was the other one? The super technical, where we went, the EasyCAD 3 downgrade video, like where I really break everything down and like write a full script and kind of do it completely. This is going to be one of those like big nuclear weapon videos where we totally get into it. So if you guys are interested in photo engraving, and I know that you are, on every material, on every laser, the things that we learned in this video are applicable on the UV, they're applicable on the diode, the Galvo CO2, the fiber, the gantry CO2. No matter what laser system you're using, this video will help you get results just like this. So that is coming as well. I'm really, really excited to get into this with you guys, because it's just so, once you understand it, it's so simple. And it really is incredible. And you don't need Lightburn to do it. These rules apply to Lightburn and EasyCAD. Let me say that again. These rules apply to Lightburn and EasyCAD. And Lightburn makes a couple things about it a little more easy. I don't want to, short sell Lightburn here on this, but certainly very easily doable on EasyCAD. No problem at all. So, you do not need to wait for Lightburn to release in order to take advantage of the tips for photos that we have in this video, and you will get good results. So if that's something you're struggling with, it is coming. Shadow Living says, please make it sooner rather than later. It's being written right now. I'm probably about halfway through the script at the moment, and then we just need to shoot a bunch of B-roll, do examples. I need to build out, you know how I've been doing those Illustrator kind of like slides lately to help explain complicated topics. I need to build the slides for them. So it's a work in progress, but those big beefy videos like the timing video, they just take extra time. They take longer to produce. So, that's kind of what's holding that video up, but it's coming along. The first step is the script. I'm about halfway done with it. Everything else after that's kind of going to go super fast. So that's the last video. And it's not really the last video, but it's the last major video that has like some chunk of it is done so far. So we'll go ahead and mark that one off too on our list of things to talk about. New materials. So Miranda's been hanging around the shop, and she has been really interested in getting more of what you guys want to see onto the channel. So she asked, if you guys are on the Discord, she asked a couple days ago, like, hey guys, what do you want to see? Really open-ended question. Some people responded. The people that responded are lucky because she literally went onto Amazon and just like spent a ton of money and bought a bunch of stuff that you guys actually requested. The number one requested thing that she saw was rubber stamps, and not just any rubber stamps. So this is just rubber. It's laser safe rubber, but it's just rubber. There's nothing particularly special about it. This rubber was done on the fiber laser. Doing rubber on the CO2 is super easy. It's an organic. The CO2 is graded organics, so it's not really a problem. The problem comes for the people that want to do this on the fiber, and it was kind of gnarly, but we have a stamp, and it works super well. So I've got like some ink here. I've got my Post-it notes, and we will stamp, and we will stamp. And I was going to do this on the live stream, but there it is, guys. I mean, it works. It works super well. So can we do stamps with the fiber? Yes, I just did one, and it functions. So that is doable. It's probably the settings aren't in its final design yet, which is why I don't have it on that list of videos. It needs more work, but I did rubber with the fiber laser. It's clean. It stinks like hell. It smells horrible. You really need good extraction for it, but this is another thing. I was going to do it on the channel for a live stream, and then I was just like, this is so involved. There's so much to do that it just needs its own episode. So that's why we're not doing it on the live stream today. But here were the first attempts, and it's gnarly, guys. If you don't hit this stuff just right, it melts, it bubbles, it smears. There's still like sticky tar left over on these test ones that I couldn't quite get off. So it needs some dialing in. But I have a working stamp, and I have the little stamp grips Miranda bought, and it stamps. So that's the first thing. Really cool. Another person, so I've literally just opened this. Another person asked how to cut cardstock. Some of this can be cut on a fiber. Most of it cannot. We'll be doing this on the Co2 Galvo. We might touch on it on the gantry, even though that's like so straightforward, and literally anyone can do it. Galvo, a little more complicated, but not really. So we bought cardstock. Someone asked for it, you asked for it, you get it. So there it is. Here is another sheet of that engraving rubber. It's the same as the other one. It's just a little bit lighter, and I wanted to see if it kind of behaved the same way on both tones of that. They had a third color, it was red, and I just immediately was like, that's not gonna fly. Somebody else asked about an aluminum license plate, so I guess we'll do this. It's really not that in need of an episode, but it would be a good chance to give the 300mm lens a go, so that we can hit this whole thing at once, really kind of like put our lens corrections to the test. But it is just aluminum. It's just black anodized aluminum. So not a ton to do here, but again, somebody asked for it, and if you ask when Miranda's looking, apparently you get what you asked for. So that's coming. I cut and engrave on 140-pound watercolor paper. Works great on my X-Tool D1. Yeah, the diode's going to be great for that, of course. You could try construction paper on the Ortur. Yep, absolutely. We'll certainly work that in since we have it. Maybe we'll just do like everything about construction paper and try it on all the lasers. We'll throw it under the UV, we'll throw it under the Co2 Galvo, the gantries, the fibers. We'll see what can do what, how well it does it. We can definitely look at all of that. Okay, I don't know what this is. It's heavy. Oh, fragile. What else is in here? Another license plate. This one is red, so that's gonna be a nightmare. Here are some spoons. I didn't think the spoons were here today, but apparently they are. So if we open these up, what do you know? We've got some spoons. They're just spoons. So they're spoons, so we'll do spoons. So if you're looking to do spoons, we'll cover that for you. No problem. I really don't know what's in this one. How long's this been on? I don't know. 20 minutes? Why is red? Red reflects the vast majority of 1064 nanometer light that is dropped on it. So it's basically a giant fiber laser mirror. It's really difficult to work with, especially with lower wattage lasers. So, you know, it's just something we're gonna have to do. This so far is mostly paper. What is in here? Oh, it's heavy. I'm making a huge mess now. All right, this is excessive. Oh, tile, ceramic tile. Probably could have guessed. So Miranda went ahead and purchased some tile. This is the one thing that I think literally every other YouTube channel on the planet has done, and we have not. So probably good to get up to speed. I'm not sure whoever requested this. I'm not really sure what they asked to be covered about tile that they can't already find on YouTube, but I'm certainly happy to do it. So there it is, a gigantic box of it, ready to go. Yep, we can do tile on the diode. I know somebody, I think whoever asked for this asked for it to be done on the fiber, which is a little unorthodox considering you can get stellar results on tile with a little $300 diode laser, but I'm happy to look at it on the fiber as well, especially because this is black, so that'll come out great. Doing brass coins and 4041 steel for coining now. Dope. I've got a pile of coins over here too. That's two other things. Everybody's asking for ring rotary video, which I've been trying to talk JMac into doing because he's really better at it than I am. So that might be a Laser Everything Else episode. JMac, if you're out there, give the people what they want, man. They're looking for a ring rotary video. The other thing I've got over there is a ton of coin blanks that Tony sent me a long time ago that we've never marked. So, you know, hopefully we can get to that at some point. Last but not least, someone asked for shot glasses. There you go. It's a big box of shot glasses for you. We will likely do those on the UV. Let's check our list. So, new materials. Boom. Let's go ahead and highlight that. The next thing on the list, the Chen care package. This isn't really a care package, isn't really the best way to say it, but I've had this sitting next to my desk for a really long time, and I've never showed it on the channel. So I'd really like to show it on the channel. So let me go ahead and get this all out. I really like showing this kind of stuff off. I wonder was a card in here. I would have liked to read the card. Maybe it's in one of these. Let's open it up. Yes, okay, great. So he engraved me a little note here. Whoop. It says, hi Alex, Happy New Year. Told you, it's been in here a long time. I wanted to thank you for all of the help and advice that you shared. This has been one of the most awesome learning experiences. These are some of my products my team developed. I hope that your wife will like them. P.S. I do miss Rochester. A few years I spent at RIT. Damn winner. So that's from Chen, signed. And inside he included a bunch of these. They're basically makeups. So he just wanted to show off. He made these for Miranda, but my name's over all of them. He just wanted to show off what he's been able to do with his laser there, and it all looks really good. And it's just like they're finished makeup products. So he's marking on plastics and you know, different like lipsticks and you know, all kinds of like cosmetic items they seem to be working on in here, and they're getting good marks. So there's that, and then last but not least, in here they were able to do some. Whoop! I just opened it. I don't want to open it. They were able to do like some perfume, again on a glass bottle there. So I wanted to show that off. I just thought it was cool. I love seeing what you guys are working on. I watch the Discord all the time, watch the LMA all the time, and I always see you guys working on your little projects. So it was just really cool to get something like this in the mail that was like stuff that had actually been worked on by somebody. So thank you, JJ. If you're out there, man, if you end up seeing this, I really appreciate being able to check out your stuff. Mike McLean says, can you make brass stamps for leather? Yes, we can definitely do that. I just need to get a big, nasty piece of brass, and we can definitely do something like that. One of the other things that Miranda ordered from Amazon that isn't here yet, some of the stuff that she ordered hasn't arrived, was a big, fat, like brick of copper. Because you guys want to see copper, and copper's a big pain in the butt too, because again, it's kind of like a fiber laser mirror. So that's coming. Desktop. So we looked at JJ's stuff. Thanks again, JJ. Appreciate you sending that over. Kai Wheats. So this is another kind of thing that's kind of been on the back burner. This is like a back burner thing, but I want to get to it because I told them I'd get to it, and I feel bad for not getting to it. But Kai Wheats was like, hey, you have a great channel. We'd really like you to review our multimeter. And I was like, I don't have a good multimeter, so I will take this one, because the one that I've had in the shop forever, especially when we're doing the EasyCAD downgrade video, is just not that good. It's like a $3 multimeter from Amazon. And this one's really fancy. Look at this thing. It's kind of like a chunky boy. It's got like this power switch on here. Look at that display. It's just really cool. So I said yes, because I wanted a multimeter. Okay, sue me. I was selfish for a minute, and they offered me a great multimeter, and all I have to do is review it. Sounds like a good deal to me. So I was thinking I could sit here and just talk about how great their multimeter is and how cool it is, you know, and do like a product review, but that isn't really deep enough for me. So instead, I wanted to do something like, I don't know what the title is going to be called. Like top 10 uses for a multimeter with your fiber laser, and kind of show you like some different diagnostic applications, I guess, for having a multimeter. I do genuinely believe that having a multimeter is like an essential tool to have in a laser shop. A lot of the problems that people have with their lasers would simply go away if you had a multimeter and you could see where the issue is as far as the electronics inside your machine go. Even just basic things like continuity, or making sure your power supplies are putting out the voltage that they're supposed to be putting out. Really simple things. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing with this. At the end, we'll talk about how I like the multimeter. Spoilers, it's dope. They make cool products. But you know, something like that I think would be good. Just kind of like, you know, a basic multimeter diagnostics tutorial where we use their multimeter. I think that would be more appropriate than just like me sitting here blabbing on about a multimeter. So so that's coming. So that was cool. Back to the desktop again. So Kai Wheats, done. We covered that. The Co2 Galvo Library posted to the LMA. A million of you guys have asked for it over and over and over again. I don't have that many settings for the Co2 Galvo, guys, but here it is. It's posted to the LMA now, so if that's something that you were wanting, there it is. You can go ahead and go download it. People have really wanted the Co2 Galvo library, and I haven't really wanted to upload it because there's like 7 settings in there, but we use the Co2 Galvo all the time, guys, and 7 settings covers pretty much everything that you want to do with that machine. I've got a setting for hardwoods, I've got a setting for softwoods. You know, there's some test settings for glass that I don't even think made it into the initial release because it's really not good for glass. Romark is in there, a couple stone slate settings, and that's it. So I threw it up because you guys are asking for it. That's what it's good for. It's good at doing wood really, really fast. So there it is. You know, I wish there was more to talk about, but there isn't. So that's up. Enjoy. Mark Adams, next year, group meet at the awards show. That would be dope, and I'm super down for it. So if you guys want to hang out at the APA Expo next year, we're definitely going back. I've been talking with the president about coming back in more of a professional, official capacity next year, where like vendors are actually warned that we're going to be there, because we just kind of sprung on them. We just kind of surprised them at the last minute, and we're like, hey, we're here. Do you have a couple minutes to talk? And stuck a microphone in their face. So if they have a little heads up next year that we're coming, they might be a little more prepared. You guys might get better content. And of course, hopefully next year we'll be there for longer. So, you know, I'll actually be able to hang out. So if you guys want to come check it out, you know, and hang out with me there. That would be great. Definitely go sign up for the APA. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe that it's a worthwhile association to be a part of. The dues are nothing. The expo is sick. It's Vegas, baby. Come on. So yeah, go sign up for that, because $200 is nothing compared to what you get out of it. I just saw a question I wanted to answer. Mark is asking, what software is used by the CO2 Galvo? It's EasyCAD. And yes, Rick's, or soon to be Lightburn. APA, Awards and Personalization Association. So if you haven't already seen it, I was just at the APA. Hey, look, it's my live stream. This is all the stuff I watch on YouTube. So here it is, the APA Expo 2022. Look at that, guys. We just hit 15,000 subscribers, by the way. Woo. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. So here is the video. I just uploaded it. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Could have been better, but it's not bad. So we go to the, whoop, that's a little loud. We go to the award show. We talk to a bunch of different vendors about their cool machines. I really like this guy. I think his name is Jason from Laguna Tools. We talked to Epilogue. We do some cool stuff. It's going to be cooler next year. That's the president and the chairman of education who was running the talks, because I gave a talk while I was there. That was terrifying. Talking to a live audience is terrifying. Eagle Laser, GCC Laser Pro. So, you know, a bunch of stuff. If you haven't already seen it, the APA Expo, really, really cool. Also a great association. You get a lot of perks for joining, and I talk about it in the video. So if you haven't already seen it, go check that out. Let's mark off our CO2 Galvo library is posted. Laser everything else. I just wanted to mention this again, guys. The staff have been working so hard to make really good videos for you. If you haven't already seen it, it's youtube.com/lasereverythingelse. And here it is, Laser Everything Else right there for you. Patrick's got an episode up, Matt's got an episode up, Alex Campbell's got an episode up, and then I have an episode up, Laser Everything Travel, which was really cool. So this was after the APA Expo. We went and like shot a bunch of guns. So if you're into that, go check it out. But yeah, Laser Everything Else, guys. We have 15,000 subscribers on Laser Everything. Only 573 on Laser Everything Else. And these guys are making sick content. These are really good episodes. Simple variable text in EasyCAD 2 and 3. Get your laser business on Google Maps. Install an 800mm tower for Galvo lasers. I mean, these are like really high quality pieces of content. And you guys don't want to miss out on that. So definitely go check out Laser Everything Else if you haven't already seen it. It's just youtube.com/lasereverythingelse. And with that, another section here checked off. We go ahead and mark that off here. And this is the last thing, guys: marketplace progress and roadmaps. So I wanted to take a few minutes and just talk about what's been going on with the marketplace. This has been my big cheese. This has been the big thing that I've been working on. There's a couple things in chat real quick. So before we get to the marketplace, let's just catch up on chat. I was surprised that the lady representing Epilogue had no idea what Lightburn was. Me too, dude. I was like dumbfounded. Did you see, like, in that video, I actually like stopped talking because I'm just like flabbergasted. Like, I don't know how to respond to that. It was very bizarre. It was very, very strange. Face diaper, come on. You know, I have a baby at home. She's unvaccinated and she doesn't have an immune system. And I was in Las Vegas, the dirtiest city on the planet. So we're just trying to take care of the baby. So I'm not ashamed of that. I had to take care of my family. Trying to convince the wife to use some of our commercial space for a maker space if I can. You guys are welcome to do some workshops next time you are in Vegas. I can keep you posted on LMA. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear about that. Not in a rude context, but if you don't know the industry, then I can't buy your product. Yep, that's fair. Did you encourage Epilogue and Trotec to support Lightburn? No, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that debate with them. They're big boy companies. They know what they're doing, and they know purposefully what they're not doing. And I think they're very intentionally using proprietary software on their products. That's no question to me, for sure. Where are my mods? We went to Florida on a cruise. We We were being careful for our people. Yep. Ever see a laser not fire when using plugins? Yeah, all the time. Plugins don't like weird hatches, so if you're using like odd hatch patterns and things like that, you know, try just like, okay, if I'm using a plugin and my laser's not firing, number one thing to check is your hatch pattern. If you're using any hatch pattern besides unidirectional, try unidirectional. If you are using any hatch angle besides 0 degrees, try using 0 degrees. Those two things just seem to cause issues in plugins. Also, raster images tend to cause issues in plugins. So if you're using a raster image like a photo and not like a vector image from a vector editing program, try using a vector image instead, because those things can definitely be an issue. So check those out. What is a plugin? A plugin is anything. A plugin is like a rotary mark or project mark, anything under that laser tab where that list comes down and you can click one of those items in the list. All of those are plugins. They're like extra features that aren't really built into EasyCAD 2. EasyCAD 3 does not have plugins, so that's just an EasyCAD 2 thing. James says package was delivered on the 14th. Don't have it immediately around me, but I'll go look after the stream, I promise. I'm sure it's here somewhere. So I will look around. Do not forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. Okay, so caught up on chat, more or less. Man, never underestimate how much I'm talking. So let's look at the marketplace. Let's go look at it. I'm really excited to show you guys kind of what's been going on, because this has absorbed the vast majority of my time in the last week and a half. I'm really trying to make it special. I'm really trying to make it safe and easy to use for you guys. So let's go check it out. It's shop.lasereverything.net. Currently, payments are not enabled, so you cannot make any purchases from this website, though you will be able to soon. I'm really proud of a lot of little things here. First, I really love this right here. So when you're not typing in the search box, it gives you search, you know, like live search suggestions. It's just a neat thing. You know, I don't know, kind of stupid. We've got these big banner ads at the front here. These are kind of just stand-ins. Yeah, Chris, thank you. Shout out to Chris for letting me use this awesome 3D model of his 3D printed bottle opener jig. It's pretty cool. We got like kind of just a stand-in Mactron ad here. It's got all the things that you would expect from a big marketplace. So we're actually building out all of these sections. We've got little icons in there, so it's easy to find your way around. We've got laser parts, we've got laser machines, we've got all kinds of digital products. This is really exciting. This is something that I've been pouring a lot of energy into because I think you guys are going to enjoy this. So you'll be able to sell your time doing laser training, design services if you want to like offer, you know, I'll vectorize your image or whatever. You can sell that here. If you just want to straight up sell vector or raster artwork to people, we've got categories for that, and of course 3D models as well. So I think this is going to be a really big section here. This is another big one, engraving blanks. So if you want to sell engraving blanks, you can sign up as a vendor, sell engraving blanks. I've tried to break these out based on just other stores that I've seen in kind of like our industry on useful things there. So, you know, we've got sections for engraving blanks there too. Jigs and fixtures, this is probably the most populated one right now. So just so you know, my thought is that a fixture is an item that can hold multiple kinds of items. A jig would be a fixture designed for one very specific thing. So machined fixtures, right? Machined jigs. This would be a machined piece of, you know, metal that can hold a variety of things, like those awesome fence gates from Rob Phillips. Whereas like a 3D printed jig, this jig just holds bottle openers. And these are all listings by members of the community in here, which is really, really cool. We'll take a look at those a little deeper in a few minutes. But yeah, these are all clickable. Everything has categories built out. We've already got lasers being hosted on there by some really big companies, which is super awesome. And we'll take a look at our participating vendors in just a minute. People are still adding like their logos and stuff. It's kind of half done. but it's really, really coming along. So check out these LE verified vendors. What is LE verified? LE verified means that whatever they're selling has literally come across my desk. So I've touched it with my hands, and products that we've had in here that I've held in my hands, like James focal stick, which is still sitting here on my desk. And I've used it and I've held it, and we've talked about it on the channel. Those products will get a special badge that nobody else gets. I think we're gonna call it LE verified. It's a work in progress. I'm not really sure. But vendors that have products that are LE verified will show up in this list, which is pretty cool. We'll have on sale and best sellers. There's nothing on sale because we aren't even open yet, but you know, you'll have some quick sort things in here. We've got companies selling blanks, again, laser machines, focal sticks, all kinds of cool stuff. I just wanted to demo out the ad stuff. You can still see we have some old ads in here. So this is for the Surface Pro 6, which is like crazy old, but it's just a demo ad. But some of them I've filled out, like, you know, this one to Chris's Cartesian Crafts shop, or the Mactron ad here, like I did one for CK Laser. I just wanted to kind of fill it up and get it working. We'll probably sell this ad space later to help support the marketplace, but it's there. Matt Bodiford has agreed to run our blog for us. So Matt's actually going to run the blog, and the blog is going to be called Meet the Maker. So Matt's actually going to be interviewing vendors for our blog here. You can find it right up here at blog. He'll be interviewing our vendors to talk to them about their products, what makes them special, where they're made, and kind of dig into that a little bit more. So I'm really excited to see what Matt's going to end up doing with the blog on that. I think that could be really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing his writing. Then we've just got some other stuff down here, links to the YouTube channels, whatever. All these links work. They all do stuff. Our vendors. So this is pretty cool. So there's some big names in here. Of course, we've got Advanced Racing Technologies. That's Rob Phillips. He does those variable fence fixtures that we looked at on a live stream last week. Chris's shop, Cartesian Crafts. He has, let's just pop these open real quick so we can take a look at them. So he's got these 3D printed jigs in here, which are pretty cool. He's going to be selling the physical ones too. I think I made a change that deleted a couple of his products a couple days ago. So those are coming back soon too. There's the fence gates that we took a look at. So those are up now. Then we've got some big names, guys. We've got some really big names. CloudRay here. They kind of signed up out of the blue. I actually didn't even send them an invite. They just kind of found their way here and signed up for an account, so that's cool. My buddy Mark over at Custom Engraving Plates has his engraving blanks up for sale now. We've got Mactron, of course. You knew they were going to be one of the first ones to get in here, and their listings are actually looking fairly filled out. They've got some of their stuff up here. I'm sure there's a lot more coming. Jimmy signed up. He's going to sell starter kits for like big LED signs, if that's something you're interested in. GP Raceworks has their laser enclosures. I'm sure you guys have seen them around. Gulf Coast Laser Engraving, probably our most populated store so far. Lots of different jigs, laser cut jigs here, and a couple blanks as well for all of those kind of like jigging needs. A lot of people that I know have fiber lasers and don't have CO2 lasers, and they can't cut their own jigs. And even if you could, I mean, why do the work when you could just pick one up? So he's got some neat stuff in here. Definitely looking to see how that evolves as well. Heavy Metal Blanks Co., really great company. Definitely check their stuff out. There's James Brewer's shop, J&J Custom Treasures. He's got his focal sticks and focal stick holders and all of his other jigs. He's got like some AR jigs up there and stuff. JCZ, EasyCAD official. So we'll have EasyCAD 2 and 3 controller boards. So if you need to buy EasyCAD 2 or 3 controller boards, you'll be able to get them straight from us now. The Laser Everything Test Shop. We've got Patrick's got a store on there. Lasersonly.com. So Andrew will be here selling his laser machines as well. I don't think they have any listings up. We've got SFX Laser is up on here now. We've got Wisely Laser is up here now. A ton of other vendors. So some really big names, guys, has kind of really given us like a big boost to get things going. And that's kind of the front end. That's kind of how things look on the front end. Again, everything in here works. So we've got full category, catalog. All of these listings are really starting to look really nice and professional, and great descriptions. Here's another old like stand-in ad. So I haven't really customized everything yet, but I wanted to be transparent about this process and just kind of show you guys how that's going. So let's take a second and just catch up on chat because I've just been talking. Sean says, glad to see you haven't been slacking, Alex and crew. Far from it. We've been really, really busy. Matt says, really excited to talk to you all. Sign up. If you haven't already signed up to become a vendor, there's a link in the top right corner of the marketplace page there. Go check that out. Looking forward to seeing the vendor site take off. Me too. I think it's great to have a list of like verified vendors that we've invited or kind of vetted to be able to sell on this platform with Western payment methods in a Western market. One of the nice things about it is that all of your payments that you guys make for your products go to the marketplace, and then we pay out vendors as we see fit. So when you buy, you're buying from me, from them, not directly from them. So, even if your stuff is like shipping from China or whatever, there's just kind of like that extra layer, that extra cuddly layer of, Western screen in front of these products. So you're not just swimming through a sea on AliExpress with companies that, there's just 50 million companies selling lasers on AliExpress. A lot of them, even ones that haven't sent us machines, CK Lasers on here, Wisely Lasers on here, laseronly.com is on here. Andrew's in New Jersey. I've never seen one of his machines. He's welcome to come because we know he's selling a quality product. So it's not just a game about who's sending me lasers and who's not, though that certainly helps when we can have one here on a bench that we can actually test out and show you. But if it's well known that they're selling a quality product, they're going to be welcome to be a vendor here. And that will kind of be the big filter so that you guys know what you're looking at is good stuff. And I think there's a need for that and that it's genuine. Solocraft says, I'm looking into a Mactron UV laser. I'm wondering if I would be wise to order with an easy 2 board instead of down. Yeah, I would. I would just get it with an easy 2 board. There's no real concern for getting an easy 3 board unless you have a specific desire to do 3D engraving with a 3D Galvo head. If that's not in your sights or you don't know what I'm talking about, then I wouldn't mess with it. The 175 lens on the UV works excellent. We go around cups and mugs and tumblers, and that all works just fine. So I have no issue with that. I had to put together a spreadsheet to estimate what it costs to import a fiber laser from Mactron. Yeah, it's not fun, and you'll still have to worry about duties and tariffs. But it's 3 lines. You've got the machine cost, the shipping cost, the tariff cost. It's kind of part of the pain in the butt about importing a laser, but at least you don't have to pay a middleman to import it for you, because then they have to line their pockets too. So so much room for activities. There are. What's up, Easy? Good to see you, man. Lee, I hate this rotary so far. That's a bummer. Rotaries are challenging for the first time on all machines. Absolutely right, Sean. Jawicki also is on there. Yep, absolutely. That is very true. They are on there. I must have just scrolled right by them. I didn't even see them. Will Lightburn work on the EasyCAD 2 board? It will when it's released. So when Lightburn actually comes out, you will be in good shape. Okay, so with that done, I'm saving like the really dry stuff for the end, but I wanted to cover this in today's live stream. If you sign up to become a vendor, I wanted to just show you what the back end looks like, because there's some cool stuff in here that you're able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just log in here real quick. And we will come in as a vendor. And we'll use Chris's account here. We'll log in as Chris and take a look at his products. So when you create a product, it's super easy. Come in here, create new product. You can call it whatever you want. So we could sell, 5,000 watt fiber laser marking machine, right? No problem. Categories, you can come and scroll down here, and we've got a bunch of different categories, and it's all in alphabetical order, and it's really hard to read. Click this button over here, pulls up a tree view so you can see exactly what you want. So laser machines, Galvo lasers, Galvo fiber lasers done. Super easy. Price, $50,000. And full description, laser goes brr. And images, we can just drop an image in here. Anything will do, I guess this, so you can upload images. You have fields for SKUs, stock, zero price action, inventory tracking, minimum quantity to order. If you are selling a downloadable product, you can check this. You can set it for a time unlimited download or leave a window, which is pretty cool. And we'll go ahead and hit create. And then it opens up the rest of our options for us. Shipping properties, so we have automated real-time shipping calculation. So you can put your weight in. If you want to offer free shipping, you can do that. Shipping freight is a cost on top of the shipping. So whatever the automated system generates as a shipping price, this is kind of like a handling fee. So if I put 50, it's going to be shipping plus $50, which I feel like I need to point out because it's not entirely clear. Items in a box, one box, one item, one box, 10 items. It's just how many things you can ship before the system needs to calculate a second package, which is really useful. And then you can put the box length in, so 5 by 5 by 5, super easy. Options. Options are how the system handles variants, which is pretty easy. So we could come in here and create a new variant. We could call this wattage. So we'll type wattage in. I don't know why it says watt. I want wattage, please. Wattage. Now I've broken it. Let me close this. Let's try that again. Wattage. Add wattage. Thank you. And then variants. So we can offer a 20-watt laser, a 30-watt laser, or a 50-watt laser. And then we can do advanced option creation. And in here, we can actually set a price. So for the 20 watt, we'll say the base price is fine. For the 30 watt, it's going to be an additional 10 grand. And if you want the 50 watt, it's going to be an additional 20 grand. And then we can hit create. And now we've got 3 variants based on wattage, which is super nice. We can type in field size. And we can let people choose a field size. So we could offer this with a 110 lens, a 120 lens, and a 150 lens. And in advanced option creation here, we wouldn't charge them anything different, right? Because it's a general, but we can select the type here. So you can make it like a checkbox, right? And then they can check what lenses they want to include. You've got radio groups. The select box is still probably most important. But we would just leave that alone, and then it won't add a price for having a different field size. The last one I wanted to show off was we could do like custom instructions. We can go ahead and add that. Custom instructions, and then we would just say text for the variant there, advanced option creation. And if we drop this down to text there, you can see the variance goes away because this is just going to create a text box the customer can type in. We can give it a description. This is text. Comment, so enter custom instructions here. And then we can make it required if we want to make it required. And we also have hints, so custom instructions, blah, blah. We can go ahead and create that one. So that is all the different options, and here's how that looks, which is pretty cool. So if we open the preview, we've got our image here. We've got our wattage, so you can see as we select a different wattage laser, our price is going to change up here, which is pretty neat. So we can come down here and click the 50, and we're up to 70,000. So most expensive fiber laser, they can pick a field size, it doesn't change, and then if they want to add some custom instructions, we can do that. This is too expensive, and you can go ahead and add it to the cart. So that's all working great. Features will be kind of like built-in things that apply to everything. So if you're doing something in the category for fiber lasers, this might say like air cooling or water cooling, and the vendor can check one, but they can't necessarily customize them. We still have to build that out, so this is blank for now. Again, variations, blah, do it through options. The variations menu is overcomplicated, doesn't work well. If you're uploading a digital item, you can upload it here for sale with this product. We're implementing a booking system. which is really cool. So this is how you'll sell your time if you want to do training or artwork processing for people. So we've got table booking and rental booking, neither of which really apply. I guess rental booking, if you want to rent your laser out or something, you could do something neat like that. Table booking doesn't apply at all. It's not really ready yet. I've got a development team working specifically on doing an application style, you know, for appointments, like appointment booking. They're integrating it directly for me. So soon this will say appointment booking instead of table booking, and they're changing some things to make that a little more user-friendly. So that's coming up. Product bundles, if you want to add a product bundle, you can. So let's say you want to sell a laser, a lens, and I don't know, a carrying case. Let's call it an EM Smart, right? And then you want to sell all three of those things together. You can add a new bundle, sell it at a discounted rate, whatever. Video gallery, so if you want to include videos inside of that product view, so the video that we add will show up literally in the list of pictures down here when we have a list of pictures, and it'll also show up in its own tab right here. It'll say videos. That works. That's working perfectly fine right now. The vendor can check reviews on that product and respond to them as well if they'd like to do that. There's 2 places they could do that there. So that's some of it. Before we move on, that was the biggest part. But I want to catch up on chat before we move on and look at some of the other vendor features that we've looked at so far. Gotta bounce. Thanks for doing this. See you later, Sean. ETA on Lightburn Q2 2022. Didn't notice any dry stuff at the end. Must have missed it. Glad you're excited. June through June 30th. Oh, there's my wife. They're doing their best. They really are. They're working so hard as you guys might think I'm working. They're working a million times harder than me. So they really are working as fast as possible to give the best possible product in the shortest amount of time. So, you know, we're just going to keep rooting those guys on and waiting patiently because they are doing their best and they have a very tall order they need to fill. Lee says, can't wait. Your webmaster has really nailed it for you. I'm mostly the webmaster, which is, you know, whatever. We're trying. Hey, Laser Everything people. Hope everybody had a great Friday. What's up, E3? Good to see you. They literally spent whole days working on this since the shop shut down. Yep, we're really trying to knock this out. 5M Laser Designs here. What up, Alex? What's going on? Matt says crushing it. Thanks, bro. I'm pretty sure that Lightburn guys work 20 hours a day and only stop to sleep for 4. I think that's pretty much accurate. Fastest 4 legs had a good question about a laser back above. I'm gonna spend 3 seconds scrolling up. I see Glenn. What's up, Glenn? Randy Meters. Looking forward to the site taking off. I can't find it. Repaste it into chat for me. When you post in that 60-watt MOPA info for us noobs, at the end of the day, I could do a big long review. It's a fiber laser. It works great. The lens that comes with it, the Jolly Star lens, it's garbage. Throw it away. Get a standard lens. Throw it in the SFX 60-watt M7, and you're rocking and rolling. It's awesome. I still don't know how to use the MOPA features. I've never taken the time to learn how to use the MOPA features. I'd like to. I just don't really have a use case for it. And I suspect most people don't have a use case for owning a MOPA laser, which is why it's just absurd to me that so many people buy them, because there's not that much that you really need a MOPA to do. You can do most of it with a JPT. So, you know, a video will come about it eventually, and it will be boring, and it will say that the SFX laser is good, the lens is garbage, throw the lens away, put a new lens in it, keep the laser, have a great day. That's essentially my review of the SFX 60-watt M7. The real review there to do is the review of the 60-watt M7 by JPT, the laser source. Everything about the build quality of that machine is to par, perfectly acceptable. Not necessarily inspired, but workable, well built, and I'm happy I own it, and I'm happy I had a chance to work with them. See you later, Dave. Thanks for swinging by. Been sleeping any at all? No, never. So much accomplished so fast. Maybe take a day off. Maybe when the marketplace is finished, I'll take a day off. tried the same hatch setting as your video. No luck. Do people still knock on your door for custom work? Every once in a while, and most of them I tell them no. What hatch setting? I missed a message up there somewhere about that. Is Lightburn compatibility with EasyCAD 3 hardware even theoretically possible? Yes, absolutely. It's theoretically possible. They're looking into it, but they're not going to spend a moment of time supporting EasyCAD 3 until EasyCAD 2 is finished. So that is all we know, and that is all we're likely to know until EasyCAD 2 support is completed and released. Can't get the conversion correct for my 110 lens and a 60 watt. Anyway, I can get some more help. You can reach out to me on one of our social media platforms and try to get me that way, or call out to 60 watt owners on the LMA via the forum, the Fiber Laser forum on the LMA, because I'm sure you're going to get some help that way. What I've found is that for the 60 watt M7, converting for my 30 watt, which is the exact same conversion that you're doing, the conversion tends to be a little high. So if the 30 watt power is 50 and the converter converts it to 35, I would try 25. It just seems to be a little high. I need to work out the formulas a little bit. So try to just drop them just a little bit more. Make sure you're using the 200 nanosecond pulse width for your pulse width setting, because that entire library is based on a pulse width of 200 nanoseconds. So if you start changing the pulse width, I think by default it's set to like 10 or something like that, set it to 200, then the library might make a little more sense. So you might want to check that in too. Oh, right, the plugins not firing. Same hatch. I wouldn't try the same hatch as the video, because I'm fairly certain the hatch in the video is bidirectional or snake. So I would try unidirectional, which is the straight lines across connected by the diagonal lines. Try that, 0 degrees. Again, I'm not even convinced we use 0 degrees in the video. Make sure hatch number 2 and 3 are off, so you're not using multi-hatch. You just want hatch number 1, no cross hatch, 0 degrees, unidirectional. That's where I would start. Sorry for the spam. I just started trying images with my Raycus 50 watt and it's stuttering, pausing while engraving. I pasted a VIN and fiber support on Discord. Is there somewhere I can look to resolve? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. Fiber support. Is it right up top? Is it this one? I don't think it's that one. Stuttering and pausing issue. That's horrible. That doesn't look good at all. For you guys that are watching at home, this looks really bad. I have never seen anything like this ever. Ever. I'd like to see the artwork. If you have the files, drop the files. I'd love to take a look at them. That's bizarre. Very, very strange. Shoot the artwork to me. Shoot the artwork to me and we'll take a look at it. That's very weird. That's not a good problem to have. That doesn't look good. Vectors work great. Yeah, let me see whatever rasters you're using. We'll give it a try. Good polishing or finishing tips for metal like steel. I'm not a finisher. I've never been a finisher with customers, with the channel. It's not really my strong suit. So my trick is to get it perfect out of the laser so I don't have to finish it. Because I'm not a good metal worker. I'm not a good carpenter. I don't really have those like tool skills. It's not my wheelhouse. So my policy is to get it perfect out of the laser so I don't have to do anything to it after. The other staff members, our volunteer staff, are much better at that kind of stuff than I am. So if you need some help with that, probably reach out to them, because I'm not really the person to ask, if we're being honest. Looking to get a desktop fiber laser for metal marking. Wanted to know what they're like with detailed wood marking and cutting. They're garbage. Fiber lasers are not designed for organics. You can get away with it, and it's not very good at all. By the time you're throwing enough energy down at a piece of wood to actually ablate it, you're burning it like to hell. It's really, really bad. So get a fiber, get a CO2, or get a cheap diode laser. Diode lasers are so inexpensive. They're like $400. You can get a really, really nice diode. You can go nuts on wood. If you want to spend a lot more than that, you can get something like a Co2 Galvo for $7,000 to $9,000 and do very, very nice wood marking in seconds instead of minutes or hours, but I would not try to do it with a fiber. Of all of the rules that we bend here, and we bend a lot of rules on Laser Everything about what we should and shouldn't be using fiber lasers for, wood is probably the worst one. I really absolutely do not recommend doing wood in any capacity with a fiber laser ever for any reason. Artwork. Okay, I see that, I'm looking at it, and I'm also gonna need your bitmap settings for that artwork, because the artwork looks okay. It's just a raster, so it shouldn't be that bad. So some of your bitmap settings, if you have your bitmap settings that you've been using, I'd love to take a look at those too. While we are waiting for that, really quick, I just wanted to show you guys a few more things that make this really cool. So we checked products. I should probably delete this product. I don't think Chris is gonna appreciate coming back to his shop with this $50,000 fiber laser in it. Orders is simple enough. There's no order data in there. I'll have to log into my account for that. Home, you can see your balance. So what we owe you. You can request payouts easy enough. It's under accounting. So right now this doesn't do anything. This is a big thing that I'm working on. So eventually you'll be able to type in your bank account information into this and then how much you want to withdraw, and it'll just get wired directly to your bank account. That's something else the dev team is working on. It's a little bit outside of my scope. We're partnering with Borderless, which is an awesome international wire transfer payment system. We're integrating their API directly into the back end. So you'll be able to wire transfer out all of your funds as a vendor to your account at any time. Super easy, really, really awesome. So that's all available there. Marketing, so product bundles and booking system stuff can be found in here. If you check out your seller info, you can find your, I'm doxing. Well, not really. This is all public information, I guess. You can see it on his vendor profile. But the booking system stuff is in here. Your descriptions, your logos, if you want to upload your logos, your plan. Right now, every vendor is free. We don't have any paid plans, so anybody can sign up. It's just a 5% transaction fee, which I'm proud to announce is better than AliExpress and Etsy, and no monthly cost. This may change down the road, but right now, to onboard people, we're really excited to say that that's the case. A couple other small things that you can kind of edit in there and get crazy with. I do want to show you what orders look like really quick. We're almost done with this. I just wanted to really show it all off while I could. Where is mine? Laser everything shop. There it is. Okay, here's kind of my dummy store. Orders, I have some fake orders in here. I know it. Here it is. So this is what the ordering page looks like. It's an order. Right now there's no way to print labels, which is dumb, but I'm working on it. So that's another thing that's coming up really soon. And that's it. Okay, so that's the end. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. It's all a work in progress. The two important things that are coming are payouts for vendors. That's a big thing that we've spent a lot of time and a lot of money getting set up the right way so that it's safe and secure and being done the way that it's supposed to be done. So vendor payouts is coming very soon. Shipping, label purchasing, and printing in-house. Right now you have to go to a third party like Pirate Ship to print your postage. Then you put the tracking number into the order to fulfill it. I don't like that solution. I think it should all be able to be done in-house but it's something that's coming, and the booking features we really want to iron out. So those are the three big things we're working on now, but most of the core site functionality is complete, and I'm really happy with the progress that we've been able to make on that so far. So that's that. Tried unidirectional, no lasers outside of plugin. Your plugin might be shot. Have you tried the community edition of EasyCAD? If you haven't, I really recommend it. You can get it from lasereverything.net/downloads. And just, you can go into the plug folder in that installation and just copy the plugins out and drop it into your installation of EasyCAD and see if new plugin files work for you, because they do corrupt fairly often. Any good rotary adapter or fixture that can help with certain tumblers. All I can find are ones for CO2. I have to clamp from the inside of the bottle due to its length. It's not completely level while turning. I haven't seen anything for that yet. There might be something on the Laser Everything marketplace, which is not operational yet. So only going to be up at the end of the month. But I feel like I saw something maybe that might help with that, but not off the top of my head. How does the shipping info come across? It just shows up. You can just see it, just like anything else that has to do with the order. Corey says, idea, do an episode of what a 300mm lens can do and why you would use the 300mm, maybe a large slate or a marble or a brass sign. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We've done a couple pieces of content, whether it's live streams or videos, where we've shown the uses of projection, which is my main thing. That's the main reason I would use a 300mm lens. I don't often use it for flat stuff, but it's really helpful when you're trying to get around curves because it's got such a deep depth of field, which we've talked about a lot lately. We've talked quite a bit about that. So just doing like a big flat thing, sure, why not? We haven't done that yet. We certainly could. In fact, we will when we talk about the license plates, the fake license plates that Miranda bought on Amazon. That'll be perfect because those are about 10 inches wide, so that would be a great use for the 300mm lens. Matt's also mentioning the leatherette from JDS, which we can check out at some point, absolutely. Bitmap settings dropped in the Discord. If you have time, no worries and thanks. I will take a look at those in just a second. Time to go hide in the shadows again for a while. See you later, bro. I laser rings with ACI laser using Magic Mark III from Germany. It's 15 years old. Do you have laser suggestions that are specifically designed for rings? Autofocus, angle calculations, etc. Not specifically that are designed for rings. I'm sure we could do rings with any of the machines that are sitting behind me, but nothing specifically designed for it, no. I will take a look at these bitmap settings. So let's see. I guess we'll just pull this over here so you guys can see it too. All right, so nothing mirrored. We should be doing gray. Dither, lighten, that all looks fine. Fixed DPI 1000, probably too big. So I'd start right off the bat. I would start by lowering this maybe to 500. I think 1000 is a little overkill based on what I've learned. And like I said, this photo video is coming up, so you'll have this very soon. And that will kind of explain this more in the near future. Pixel power adjustment is checked. Disable mark low gray point doesn't really need to be checked because this is just a big rectangle, unless this is actually part of the image up here and down here, but it doesn't appear to be. Unless you really don't want this arrow to be marked, you don't really have a reason. I checked, looks like I was only about 29% memory used while engraving. I don't know. I mean, you sent it to me. We can try to mark it real quick. Let's do it. We'll save it to our desktop. And let me go turn on the fiber laser, and we'll try this out. So let's open up our, I don't know, the 150 should be fine. I'm just looking for some metal business cards. Luckily, Miranda just bought us a brand new pack. I'm gonna get some of these out. And I gotta get the webcam so you guys can actually see what we're working on here. Okay, back over at the computer. EasyCAD did not launch. Uh-oh. I hate when this happens. Hold on one second. You gonna open? Oh, the UV is still on. I had the UV on earlier because EasyCAD does this really weird thing. So I had the UV on earlier because I was gonna try that rubber stamp material on the UV because I was just curious. And if I leave an EasyCAD 3 board on when I try to launch EasyCAD 2, EasyCAD 2 will not open up. Okay, now that that's off, we can turn the fiber back on. Sorry, I was confused for a minute. I forgot that it does that. Very annoying. Okay, so we'll launch EasyCAD 2 here. Let's just do this. We'll just do it together. So here's our work area. Let's import. What is this? Let's get some deets on this real quick. Have you picked up any good tips or tricks for the UV? The UV, from what I can see, is very basic machine, and one setting pretty much works on everything that I've thrown at it so far, except for really sensitive plastics, which then gets kind of complicated, and we can definitely talk about that in a video or something. We don't really have time to get into it today, but it's not as hard as I had maybe initially thought when we first started. Image size, 72 dpi. It's about 30 inches big. That's gigantic. Let's actually get this to the size we want to mark it. It's a business card, so maybe 2.5 inches wide. And we can upscale this to maybe 300 dpi. And that'll look fine. Let's go ahead and save over this. So we'll save over the original there. And we'll close this. So we're done with that. So there's Photoshop out of the way. Let's import a raster image. It's on our desktop. There it is. We'll open it up. C to center. That's still really big. We wanted 2.5 inches, so maybe 65 millimeters. I'm not so great at math. Apply. Whoop, we didn't lock. Let's lock that up. 65 millimeters-ish, right? Ish. C to center. And there it is, fixed DPI, yes, 300, 300 for this. We don't want to overdo our DPI. The closer these lines get together, the more they're gonna interfere with each other. We're gonna lose contrast in our image. There's more prep that we can do in Photoshop to make this come out better, but we're, again, we don't really have the time to deal with that at the moment. We really want to dither on this. You can do this in Photoshop. I really recommend doing it in Lightburn. We might do just a little more prep on this image in Lightburn really quick before we continue. So let's open Lightburn. Let's bring this image into Lightburn. And let's prep it here. All of this can be done in Photoshop. It's much more difficult in Photoshop. I tell people all the time, even if you don't have a laser that can use Lightburn, buy the G-code version of it. It's like half the price of the DSP version, and then you can use the photo editing features. Totally worth it. We're gonna come into adjust image, and we'll zoom in here, and you can see right away that it is doing that dither for us. I've really liked Stucky, I guess, recently. It's been great. The other thing is we are working on a business card. So right now, the way that we're seeing this, anything that is black over here is going to be marked, and whatever's marked isn't going to turn black, it's going to turn white because it's a metal business card. So we're going to negate this first of all. That's the first thing we want to do, so we can actually see how things are going to look, and then we can invert the display because that's how it's actually going to end up on the card. Is that right? Am I crazy? Let me think for a second. Yes, okay, so we do want this inverted because this is going to be backwards if we don't do this right. So there's that. Good enough. Next, our DPI, 317.5. We know that the DPI for this image is 300. Our line interval right here, that's fine, as is. Contrast, we want our lights, and again, I'll get into this in the video, but we want our lightest areas of this to be a little lighter for reasons we will discuss in a future episode, but I'm going to turn the gamma up just a little bit. And that should be fine. So now we've got a dither. So this is not going to come out very good, but this is going to look great. So we'll hit OK. We don't see the changes reflected here, but the changes were made, I promise. And then we'll go ahead and save processed bitmap. And we will just call it func, I guess, and we can save it to the desktop. So now we have our prep file. This will come out great on Lightburn if we want to run it on Lightburn, but I want to run it on EasyCAD because that's what we're, that's what we're using. That's the software in question at the moment. So we'll come back over here. We'll open a raster. Look, guys, we ended up doing laser engraving today anyway. There it is. At the size that we set it to be. It's at the resolution we set it to be, 300 by 300. So that all matches. That's great. We don't need anything else checked down here. We don't even need pixel power adjustment. Let's just uncheck that. We'll turn it off altogether. And the next thing, our settings. Somewhere around a speed of 300 has worked really well for me. If you go too fast, it really lowers the quality of our line. That's another thing that I'm going to save for the video. I'm not really going to explain why we're doing it. I'm just telling you what we're doing for now. We'll talk about why in the full video. We will be discussing it more with like an actual microscope and real images as to why we're setting our speed to 300. There's a reason. Power 80s, way too much. Let's try 25. And we want nice punchy pixels. So 45 for the highest pulse power on the 60 watt M7. Our timing is right. We've done our timing many times. We know that our timing values are correct. Very important for raster engraving. And once all of this is set and done, we can go ahead and light it. We will switch to EasyCAD over here so that we can actually see what we're doing. We'll get it more or less centered up. I may go ahead and enlarge this a little bit, but that's really bad. That's a bad practice. We should have things set to the size we want them to be when we're processing them in Lightburn. Because when I go to enlarge this now, it's kind of changing the spacing of these dots. Even though Lightburn is no longer compensating for that change in size. I'm going to do it anyway, but just know that's not a best practice, okay? We really shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why continue mode is checked either. Let's get that turned off. Last thing we need to do is focus. We really need to focus this up here. So I will grab the focal stick for the 150 millimeter lens. And that's nice and in focus now. And I should probably do a little exhaust because I don't really want to breathe in all this aluminum dust and anodizing. Okay, so here we go. Everything's set. I'm just kind of waiting for the exhaust fan to kick in here. And I can hear it ramping up. And we will stop lighting and we'll go ahead and mark it. And as you can see, there's no stuttering. So I'm not sure what you have checked, but your best bet is probably going to be to just start over. Start from scratch. I'm serious. The G-code version of Lightburn is so inexpensive that it's really worth it just for the photo editing tools alone. So I'd really look at it. Yeah, no problem. I'm here to help. Is a 300 millimeter lens an all-around good lens? Yeah, there's a huge reason why you'd want to own. No. The 300 millimeter lens is not an all-around good lens. The 300 millimeter lens has very, very specific uses. If you're trying to get around an object with a huge curve, that would be something where you would really want to lower sorry, I'm looking at this photo and critiquing it, and I'm trying to talk at the same time. The 300mm lens is good for getting around objects with a really big curve because it's got a nice big depth of field. It's also really good for doing really big things because it's got such a big field size. So those two things are awesome reasons why you would want to make sure that you're using a 300mm lens, but you lose a ton of power. With a 300mm lens, you're spreading the same amount of power, 60 watts, 30 watts, whatever wattage your laser is, over a larger area because your dot size is getting bigger. So it's comparatively, it's apparently weaker than other lenses. If you want a high performance lens or a good general usage lens, I'd pick something in the mid 100 to low 200 range. Maybe a 200mm lens to like a 150, 175 for most lasers. If you've got a low wattage laser like a 20 watt or a 30 watt, maybe even like a 110 for an all around laser. The 300 is a great lens and it does a lot of things really well, but general use is not one of them. I would consider the 300mm lens a specialized lens. This looks okay, but we can make some adjustments to make it better. So let me get it under the light. So what is wrong with this picture? I forgot to turn off the disable mark low gray point. So let's do that again. So you don't have to do this in Lightroom, which is why I didn't do it, because I was thinking of Lightroom photos. But we do have to click extend down here and disable mark low gray point so that it doesn't mark the white areas. So now that that's checked, let's go ahead and run this one more time. And this one should come out much better than the first. So go ahead and drop that in there. It's just the other side of the card here. Try to get that a little more center for you guys. And we'll mark it again. So now it should be ignoring all of the plain white and we should just be marking the black. And this should look much, much, much better. What's up, Jimmy? Good to see you. I'm getting really amazing results on the bus cards. Nice. So you can see it's moving much faster now because we're jumping over those white areas. We're not actually marking them. So that is the one thing that I forgot. So in EasyCAD, you absolutely need to click Disable Mark Low Gray Point so that you're skipping the white areas and you're only marking the black. But outside of that, it looks like we've done pretty well for ourselves. And we'll take a look at it on the good camera when we're done. And there we go. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. It looks amazing. Man, it does. It looks, it looks really good. Now we can go ahead and take a look at this. We might even do it a second time, a little bit bigger, just to really show it off. But here's the main camera, and there is the final result for you. Looks really good. Nice and clean, great detail. There's not much else that you're gonna want from something like that. I see a lot of people go for the 1000 DPI. It's too much. It's too much for these fiber lasers. It's great when you're doing vectors, because with vectors, you're doing big filled areas, you're hitting spots multiple times, and it really makes a big difference. But for these little metal business cards, it's too high a resolution. You don't need it. If you really want to pull off a good mark on a card like this, you need a lower resolution. Something around 300 is going to do really great for you. Of course, we have the light burn magic in there, taking care of our dither for us, and that makes all the difference in the world. But that's it. That's really all there is to it. I know I didn't talk a lot about why we are doing the things that we're doing, and that's what we're gonna talk about more in that episode. Again, I've been spending a really long time on it. Knowing what to do is great, but knowing why you're doing it is essential. Those settings everything that we did there, the dither, the 300 speed, the very low 25% power, all of that stuff, the DPI or lines per inch, are great for the fiber laser on this card, on this machine. And with the stuff that we're gonna cover in the photos, the ultimate photo engraving guide video, will teach you why we're making those choices, so that it doesn't matter if you're using the diode or the fiber or the Aeon Mira 9 or the CO2 Galvo, you're gonna get good results. We talk all about why we're doing what we're doing, and it's really gonna give you a good sense of how we're making these decisions. But it does work, it is effective. Yes, the G-code license for Lightburn if you only have a fiber laser. If you have a CO2 gantry machine, you want the DSP, obviously, because then you're gonna be using that. If you have a diode, the G-code will work with the diode. But if you just want it for its artwork capabilities and you've only got a fiber laser, the G-code version works fine. You're not using it to talk to a laser anyway, and it's cheaper than the other versions of Lightburn, so there's no reason not to get it. So, you know, just grab it and then you get those basic photo editing capabilities, and you know, you can start getting really good results. It works with anything. I mean, we could do another one. I'll show you guys if you want to do another one. It's an effective solution. It really does work super well. That will do a lot of the stuff you were wanting to do on EasyCAD. Yeah, absolutely. So, really looking forward to that episode. Yeah, me too, man. I've been wanting to get it out for a while. If we open up Chrome, and I really like doing this because these look really impressive all the time. If we go, not to photos, if we go to just Google, I guess, and we type in portrait photography. These always just, they look so nice. So if we come in here and we just find a good portrait, something with some good detail, right? There's the one that I did from the video the other day. That's why I used it, because I grabbed it, came up first, and it looks super good. But there's a lot of different options here. I think something with a little more detail, so it's a little more challenging, because with this one that I used, it's mostly just her face, and then there's just some black corners up here. But I think we could get a little more hardcore, right, with these details and really show off what this is capable of. So we'll go ahead and save this image here. I like that one. There's a lot going on there. Another reason why I liked that original one that we'd picked was because she had a lot of freckles, and the freckles are really difficult to resolve. So when you're resolving those freckles on an aluminum business card, it's really impressive. Again, just to kind of give you guys the reference on that, you know, you can see the freckles in there. I just think that's so cool, especially when your hand is just, you know, far enough away that your brain kind of starts to plug those things in. It really works. It's a super effective. I grabbed this one too because this was more like a picture that you would see, you know, a customer wanting to have engraved, and it's equally effective on there. But neither here nor there. We'll go ahead and grab this and drag that into this folder so I can use this as an example when we do this final video too. Same exact steps, guys. So first thing we want to do is open Photoshop. We want to know what we're dealing with, and if we need to upscale it, we want to upscale it. So we'll go ahead and close that. We don't even need it. We're just going to drag the file in, and image, image size. Okay. So this is already 300 DPI. Great. It's a good size. Let's try to nail this on the first try though. So let me grab a new business card. It should not be a weird sized business card, but I'd feel better about just, you know, measuring it. Let's get it perfect. I want to use this whole card. So on the width, we're at 54.04. So width 54.04 millimeters, right? So let's make sure that's accurate, and we'll hit OK. And there it is. So that should be the right size now. And we know that the resolution is 300 DPI, which is great. So we'll go ahead and hit save. It's not perfect. 300 DPI isn't perfect. And again, we will talk about why in the photo video, but it's good enough to make a point. And we'll just call this, you know, portrait. We'll save it as a JPEG. We'll wait for Photoshop to catch up. Highest quality we can get. We'll let that save. Nice big chunky file. Hopefully this actually saved in millimeters. I'm a little concerned. Image size, millimeters. Oh yeah, no. Sorry, I didn't even. 54.04 millimeters. Wow, I don't know why we upscaled that so big. I was wondering why it took so long to save. Okay, that's better. So again, we'll save this, and now we can close it. We can close that. We're done in there. We're gonna open Lightburn again. Yeah, thanks guys. I noticed. Okay, so we're back in Lightburn. We'll grab our new photo here. We're going to right click it, same thing as last time, adjust image. Now, negative image, right? We know that things that are marked black are going to be the lightest areas on the business card. So we actually want to be marking like these highlights in her face, right? We want to be marking the smoke. We want to be marking the highlights on her fingers. We want to be marking the bracelets. So in this case, we need to invert the image. And then we can invert the display to see what it's actually going to look like. But having that image inverted down here, negative image, is key to getting a good mark. Inverting the display simply just makes it a little more easy for us to be able to tell what the final product is going to look like on the card. This has no bearing on what is marked or not marked. This is just for us to see what we're doing on that final card. The negative image is actually changing what is going to be marked. So I wanted to make that distinction. So there it is right there. Same thing as last time, I think turning the gamma up just a little bit. Note that's darkening this, right? That's because we have the display inverted. So if we, again, if I light, that's actually lightening it, which is moving these pixels a little further apart from one another. But inverting the display, it does appear to darken it just because, again, the display is inverted. So there's that. I'm not doing anything else to it. We're not changing our image mode. We're not changing contrast, brightness. No other adjustments are needed, just the gamma right there. We'll hit OK. When we're marking these photos in Lightburn, Lightburn actually has a couple extra tricks. The dot width correction is a big one, and we're going to talk about this in depth when we do the photo video, but we're not marking this in Lightburn, so we don't need to concern ourselves with that right now. We'll right click this, save process bitmap. We'll call it portrait and close Lightburn. So we'll go ahead and close Lightburn. And here's portrait. So you can see it, the display was inverted, but it output what we actually wanted there. So now we can come into EasyCAD, and we're going to import a raster file, and we're going to find our inverted portrait.png and open that. We're going to C to center, and let's just come into the extend menu again. Make sure our disable mark low gray point is still set. Good. Here's 300 speed, 25 power, 45 kilohertz. So everything should be good. Let's light this. I know my lens corrections are a little off right now. So this may not be a perfect match for the card, and we may need to resize again. I need to redo my lens calibration. It's a little small. It's a little off. So we'll go ahead and just enlarge that a little bit in EasyCAD. We got away with it on the other cards, so I think it'll be fine here. Again, not a best practice, right? We don't want to be doing this, guys, but I'm kind of cheating right now for the sake of time. And with that done, we're just going to go ahead and run this same exact thing, okay? So here we go. We're going to mark it. And again, this was simply processed in Lightburn. Anybody can do this with the G-code license of Lightburn right now. You do not need to wait for Lightburn for Galvo to do what I'm doing right now. Anyone can do it. Hi, J-Mac. I see you, bro. And look at that, guys. I mean, already you can see it. Already. Perfection. So there's really some tricks to this, guys, that make it work perfectly every time. And once you know the tricks, and again, once you know why it is doing what it's doing and why we're making the decisions that we're making, doing this becomes very, very simple and straightforward. It is not as complicated as it's made out to be. You can already tell that those results are just epically excellent right there. So let's jump back over to the main camera. And that is gorgeous right there, guys. That's everything you want and more out of your fiber laser as far as doing photos. And I'll grab some raw metal too. It's very easy to make impressive looking images on black anodized aluminum cards, but it's even easier to do, or not, okay, scratch that. It's very easy to make impressive looking images on the black anodized cards. They just resolve detail really nicely, but we can do this with raw metal as well. And I will show you that next. We'll actually do that. I'll grab a piece of brass or something, and I'll show you what it looks like when we flip this process around. But you can see it's perfect. It's perfect. I couldn't really want to change anything about that. I think that's stellar right there. Let me see what I have just laying around over here that we can use for this. Here we go. So shout out to Mark over at CustomEngravingPlates.com for sending me just piles and piles and piles of brass. I appreciate you, bro. So brass sheet. Okay, so this is a non-negative solution. So in this version of this, we're hoping to make this darker. We're not removing a coating from this. We're actually like ablating the metal to get our photo effect. So we need to make some changes. First of all, this is inverted. This is going to look like garbage if we mark it as is right now. We really need to turn this around. So this is no longer useful to us. We can go ahead, well, actually, I suppose we can do the same exact thing. We can just click invert and it will invert everything and kind of do it the opposite way. Not the best photo because now we have to mark all this white area in here. So all of this is going to have to be marked and just these little dots are what's going to be left over. And that's fine. We can do it that way. It's kind of going to end up being that way no matter what we end up doing. So we'll just do it that way. We'll invert and apply. There she is. So we can actually see her the way that she's supposed to look now. These settings are not going to work for us. Speed, we still want around 300, but we need a lot more power because we need to actually blacken this metal now. I'm thinking something like 80 power is probably going to be more appropriate. That's a lot for the 60 watt, maybe 60 power. Let's try that and we will light it up. Let's take a look at the EasyCAD table over here. We'll go ahead and throw this down. It's a little big for this piece of brass and I don't want to murk my table at the moment. So let's just resize this a little bit just to make sure that we're not getting on the table because I don't really want to destroy my table at the moment. So we'll go ahead and pop that on there. And we'll mark. This is going to take longer because we have way more to mark on this material, right? On the aluminum cards, the detail pixels were being removed to give us our photo. In this example, we're adding everything except the detail pixels. And you know, doing too much power in this case can cause problems too. Too much power causes sparks and splash damage, and those sparks and splash damage can destroy whatever detailed pixels are left in the image. So this may end up being too much power. We might actually have to turn that down a little bit. This is also where defocusing and kind of going for more of like a heat approach might be really good. But you know, this is more of a proof of concept. I just want to prove to you guys, you can get good results on something that isn't a an anodized aluminum business card. I mean, it's as cool as it is, and it's very cool. You know, a lot of people are going to want photos on things that aren't anodized cards, and it can be done. And I just kind of want to show you that right now. So we're just going to go ahead and let this kind of run through here. You can already see some of those details in there. I know that the webcam is kind of being blinded by that infrared light at the moment, but I can see it kind of starting to pop through in some of those lower areas. We are getting good results on that. And of course, you can mess with these settings. I'm not expecting this to be crazy dark. We are using a little bit of a fast speed for brass. On brass, I think 300 speed when you're trying to get something really dark. 300 speed is probably a little fast. I think something a little slower would probably give us a darker contrast, but again, it's also going to yield you know, more splash damage and kind of loss of detail. So there is a balance that needs to be struck there. Positive imaging is definitely more difficult to do than negative imaging. So, because we're doing more to the metal, right? The less we do to the metal, the better. But we should still end up with a pretty good photo here. It's hard to tell while the webcam is being blinded by the IR. This turned into quite a long stream. I was not expecting to get into all this photo stuff, but I'm having fun. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, don't forget to smash the like button. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of people skip the live streams, man. You can't skip the live streams. There's so much good content that comes out during the live streams that you don't see in the regular feature episodes. I think everybody thinks the important stuff is in the feature episodes, but we do cool stuff like this all the time. That is fairly dark. That's looking pretty good. It's a little dusty. For sure a little dusty, but workable, not bad. So if we go ahead and zoom in on this for you guys, there you go. There she is in all her glory. If we kind of catch the light there, it pops even a little better, but you know, it's still good. Would it look better if we had more contrast? Yes. It's a little low contrast for me, but you know, not bad. I don't think it's bad. If we wanted to improve this, just for the sake of argument, let's say we wanted to improve this. Let's say we want to get some more contrast in those colors there. It's doable. You're not stuck with this. We can improve this. And what we want to do, if we look at the desktop here, so brass takes so much power to get dark marks that it's again destroying its neighbors, right? So what do we need to do? We need to lighten this entire image to get these pixels further away from their neighbors. We don't want them so close to each other. That reduces the number of dots, so we're not going to get quite as much detail, quote unquote, but the detail we do get is going to come through with better contrast. And ultimately, I think that can be a lot more important. So let's dive back into Lightburn for a minute. And let's just say, for argument's sake, we're going to start over. Let's bring that portrait.jpg back in. And we'll adjust image again. So essentially, we're starting from scratch. We've done our Photoshop, you know, just to make sure that we're the right resolution and about the right size. Turning negative image off, okay? So we're starting again from scratch here, and we're doing this on brass, so we don't want negative on because we're adding these details, not removing them. You could call it additive photo engraving, okay? So what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna turn down the gamma. See how that brightens things up? And if we zoom in, you'll see these pixels are getting further away from each other. You see how that happens when I reduce the gamma here? Those pixels are getting further away from each other, which means we're gonna have less to worry about with the splash damage. Remember, when we were doing our subtractive photo engraving, we were actually turning the gamma up. And the reason again for that is when we were in our negative image, when we turn the gamma up, that is moving, again, the pixels further away from each other, right? So it's just about giving the laser some room to work, essentially. And so all we're gonna do, we're gonna turn negative off again. We're gonna reduce our gamma. We wanna push some of those pixels a little bit further away from each other. In fact, this first version of this portrait that we did, it was probably a worst case scenario because we had the gamma pushed up for when we were doing the aluminum business cards. So it should come out considerably better with just a slight drop in gamma. That's all we really need. Just a slight drop in gamma should make a big difference for us on that. Maybe just a little bit more, something around 0.7, I think looks really good. A lot more breathing room for those pixels. We'll go ahead and hit OK, right click, save process bitmap, and we'll call this portrait P for positive, and we'll save that to the desktop. So with that done, we'll import this new revised version of the graphic, which is in here somewhere, portrait positive, open. We'll hit P, or C to center rather. Why is it inverted? It's because I still have the invert button checked over here, okay? So we need to make sure to uncheck that. And what are we gonna do with this newfound pixel spacing? You know, we've made a lot more room between neighbors here, neighboring pixels. So what are we gonna take advantage of now that we've done that? A reduction in speed. So let's take our speed down to 150, maybe even 100, and we'll reduce our power just a little bit to compensate for it, maybe 45. And we can soften up on the frequency a little bit too. 45 is my peak pulse power, so a little bit less energy downrange because we are using such a slow speed, but we really want to try to darken this brass, and that means applying a lot of heat. So we want to apply heat without totally destroying the brass. So again, a small reduction in power and a little bit of a softening on the frequency. If you want to go really soft on frequency, something like 200 would be much better because you're really lowering your pulse power there to the point where, you know, it's hardly doing anything to the metal, it's just heating it. But we still want some ablation. So I think 25 is a little bit less pulse power than the full pulse power at 45 frequency, but it's still got some bite to it. It's still got some punch. So that's why we're using these three settings. And we'll go ahead and try this. I honestly have no idea how this is going to come out. I haven't done anything even remotely close to this in advance. I certainly wasn't planning on doing this during today's live stream, so we'll give it a try. For this test, we're simply going to flip the brass over, and we're going to try it again. So same principles, guys, not a lot of complicated stuff going on here once you know why you're doing the thing that you're doing. This is going to take significantly longer. You can see, so I'm destroying my webcam right now because it is catching direct reflections from the brass there. And this is why it's so important that you wear your safety goggles. Because to me right now, looking at this, it doesn't look like anything. I'm just going to get my goggles right now because it's kind of got me bugged out. It is pretty white. So I think we kind of overdid. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that. I think we kind of overdid our compensation on the power and frequency there a little bit. So let's just fix that back up real quick. So power, let's go back up to like 65 and the frequency back up to something like 45. I think we just kind of overdid that. So let's go ahead and mark that again. And that sounds much better. So back to the EasyCAD here, and that's looking nice and dark. You can actually, you'll notice the webcam isn't blacking out anymore because more of that laser light is being absorbed because we're getting more ablation. So just kind of like a little interesting tidbit there. More of that energy, because we turned our power up, the higher power doesn't necessarily mean more reflection. More ablation means more of that laser light is being absorbed. So it's having less of an effect on our camera. But again, guys, safety goggles, it's so important to protect your eyes from this shit. And the webcam really makes it obvious just how much you're absorbing when you're sitting in front of these machines. I mean, If you just point an IR camera, like a baby, monitor camera at a wall in this room, it would be like Christmas. So much of that light is bouncing off the white walls in here into your face, and just be careful. Protect your eyes. This is looking much better from what I can see. Nice and dark and not particularly splash damagey. There's not a lot of sparks. There's not a lot going on. It's a very mild mark, but it's slow and it's hot, and we're gonna get much better contrast now. And again, we've given our pixels a little more space between, neighboring pixels. We've given them a little more breathing room. So yes, there are less details. There are less dots being resolved in this photo, but the dots that are resolved, and there are still so many of them, you guys just saw it on the screen. I mean, here, look at it on EasyCAD right here, right now. There's so much going on here. There's so many dots. Losing a few of them to get the ones that are left resolving a little bit better is easily worth the trade. And you're gonna get better photos in the long run for it. And we're still on the fiber, guys, so this is just with a DPI of 300. There's no need to be working in the 1000 DPI range. Again, 1000 DPI, that's about 0.025 line distance on a hatched vector, is great for vector art. It works great for vector art. It helps reduce, inside lines. So like that weird lineage that you see when you're trying to fill vectors and you're getting weird lines in there. 0.025, 0.05 works great for reducing that lineage. It's just too much when you're trying to do raster images. You simply don't need it. Something like 300 is going to do great. And yes, this is a little slower. Again, we're doing an additive photo engraving process here. So we're adding the details to the brass, and there's a lot more black on this than there was white. So when we were just removing the white areas, it obviously ran a lot faster. We're operating it 3 times slower. It's 100 speed instead of 300, because instead of just removing some anodizing, we're trying to darken brass. So those are the reasons that it's going to take longer on a raw metal like this, but this process will work on steel. This process will work on titanium. This process will work on aluminum. It'll work across the board. So, really a great technique. Looks like we're about halfway done, but I really think this is going to be worth it, which is why we're taking the time here while it's live to actually do this. James Shelton's here. Hey, James. Didn't see you. Didn't see you sneak in. Yes, Rick, it's Stucky. Stucky? Stucky? What do you say? I keep hearing people say Reese to me. Do you say Reese or Recky? Because I say Recky. I think Recky sounds cooler. But I like that guy in the interview at the APA. He was like, yes, we do have Racus and Reese tubes. I was like, Reese tubes? I've been saying Recky forever. It's kind of like when you read the names of characters in a book and you say their names a certain way, but then you meet some friends who also read the book and they all say the names differently. Like, I've only ever read that word. It's not something that I say out loud. Not very often, anyway. Riki? J-Max says Riki. I say Recky. Jason from Recky. There you go, Recky. That's what I say too, Recky. Reese made me think of like Reese's peanut butter cups, like Reese's Pieces. Recky. Yeah, that's what I say too, Recky. It's a Recky tube. That's what I thought. That's what I've always said. Ugh. Crack the back. Oh, my bones, guys. Sitting at this desk all day and messing myself up. Chihuahua. Recky. Nearly done. I think this will be worth the wait. We lost a couple viewers while it was running, but trying to make a point here. Look at all that IR being reflected off the brass, guys. If this doesn't make you want to put a pair of goggles on your face, I don't know what would. That's so bad. Best self-contained fume extractor. I don't know. I've never bought one. I've never reviewed one. But I've heard a lot of people are fine with just like the basic OhmTech ones. They work great for fiber lasers or Galvo lasers in general. Not so great for big gantry lasers that are creating a ton of soot and ash, though Alex Campbell will argue with me about that. He does all in-house extraction with pre-filters and stuff, and he gets all crazy with it. I typically don't recommend fume extractors for gantry machines, but you know, in the case that I would, I mean, an extractor is an extractor. It's a big box with a HEPA filter in it, so you know, as long as it sucks the way that it should suck, you should be fine for most things with just any old thing. Anecdotal, not even anecdotal. I don't even have personal experience with it. I'm not the best person to ask, but yeah, I agree with you, J-Mac. I'm not happy unless my fumes are going outside. Even down here in the basement of this commercial building, we've, you know, found a way to get our fumes out. And there's not a single window anywhere remotely even close to where I'm sitting. So, you know, it's always best to get it out if you can. So close to being done now. I would drill the hole and install the dryer vent. Honestly, that's what I would do if I was in that situation. Personally. Have you used laser marking paint like Brilliance or Ceramark or something like that? Sure. Okay, this is done. I'm really excited to see how it comes out. Let's see if I'm full of shit or if there's actually something to this. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised here. Just give that a quick wipe off on the denim, and here it is. So, just for comparison, here's the original. Okay, there's the original. That's where we started. Here is with the adjustments we made for our additive process. There it is, right there. And of course now it's got a bunch of fuzz because I wiped it on my jeans, which I should not have done. But definitely more contrast for sure. And I think we're getting a good amount of detail in there. It's harder. And we picked a very difficult metal to do it on. But I mean, this is still, you know, compared to your normal brass photo engraving attempts that, you know, you see on a regular basis. I think we're having trouble with the light, and just like getting the camera to focus too is not really being particularly helpful, but it's there. Wish I could take a picture of it. This camera's not very good showing fine details. So let me try to take a picture and then I'll just throw it up on the screen for you. Yeah. Because what I'm seeing in person here is not what's showing up on the camera. So I just took a dead-on photo of it. Not particularly good lighting in here for product photography. And I need you to sync to Google Photos, please. And let me pop onto Google Photos and download it to the computer. Come on. There it is, and download. Open. Okay, so let's look at the desktop. And here you go, guys. There it is. So there you can actually see. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. All the detail that you'd want to be there is there, and of course when you back off it, right? We're kind of pixel peeping there, right? This is pixel peeping territory here, where we're looking at like all these little dots and stuff. But when you actually back off it and make it like an actual viewing size, this is about actual size for me on my screen. That's, you know, I think it's incredible. I think it's super cool. You can't change my mind about it, man. It just looks so good. So yeah, obviously the black anodized card looks better. It's always going to, but pretty nice. This is a dither, James, Stucky, to be precise, on brass. So not bad. And I think that it serves its purpose, which is, you know, to say you can do this on any metal. You can do this on any material at all. This will work fine on the CO2. This will work fine on the UV. This will work fine on the fiber. This will work fine on diode. It kind of works across the board. The principles are the same, and the result is amazing. So anyway, that's that, guys. You know, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to get boring here. Quit while we're ahead, right? But that's it. That's what I got. So I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. We did a lot of fun stuff. We just went off on that insane photo tangent, which again I was not expecting to do at all. But you know, earlier in this episode, if you haven't seen it, go watch the earlier part of the episode. We talk about all of the upcoming content that's coming out. We go in depth into the marketplace features and all the work that we've been putting into that to make that super great. We've talked about other stuff that I don't even remember anymore. It's starting to get late. Oh my God, it's 8 o'clock. I need to go home. But you know, we did a lot today. So I'm perfectly content with that. I think that was a solid Friday live day. I had fun hanging out with you guys as usual. If you enjoyed this episode of Laser Everything, please smash the like button. Let everybody else know that the content was good. I mean that. I say it a lot. You guys hear me just kind of rattle that off. But it's seriously, you know, let everybody else know the content was good. I feel like we did a lot of good stuff today. Smash the like button. Let other people know. Helps with engagement. Gets more people in front of the channel. If you loved this episode, this live stream, and you want to see more stuff like it, help me support the channel. Sign up for the Laser Master Academy, masters.lasereverything.net, and check out that stuff. You know, there's some bonus goodies over there. Kind of a quick LMA point. A lot of people have been like, you know, like, where are the monthly updates for the Fiber Laser Parameter Library? I haven't really had any updates to add to it. So I think we're out of the stage of monthly parameter updates. You know, there was a time when the library was not complete and we had new stuff that we could add every month. And we've kind of moved out of that. Obviously, I've got new materials here. We talked about that earlier in the episode, rubber, right? So there will be things added when we come across them, but it's just not going to be monthly. There just isn't that much anymore. It's starting to look like a fairly complete library. So, you know, that's up there. Bonus episodes of the podcast. I have like 8 unedited podcasts. So on top of everything else that we've talked about today, there's like a ton of podcasts that I've not edited that have been recorded that need to be added to the podcast playlist as well. So that's on there. It's a great community, and most importantly, its designed purpose is to support the channel. So your guys, LMA members' monthly contributions help me to continue to do this. You guys are supporting the channel and making the channel happen every month. You're making all of this information, all of these tutorials, all of this help available for everybody who enjoys the channel by contributing to the Laser Master Academy. So thank you for doing that. If you're doing that, keep an eye on the Laser Everything Marketplace. Sign up to be a vendor. If you've got something to sell, whether it's engraving blanks or services or laser machines or whatever, vendor applications are open. Just click Become a Vendor. It's in the top right corner at shop.lasereverything.net. And have you ever had to put spacers under the fiber laser arms to level it with the bed? Yes. Shimming the laser path is a fairly common practice. So not surprised to hear that you might think you have to do that. It certainly happens fairly often. Photo episode, guys. Keep an eye out for it. It's coming. That's wicked. So if you want to know why we did the things we did in today's episode, and not just, you know, starting settings, but like how it works, it's coming for you. It'll be out soon. I think I plugged all the things that I need to plug. I think that's it. So that's all I've got, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode, this live stream of Laser Everything. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.